The fairy tale Hansel and Gretel has French roots. It's the story of Tom Thumb, who gets lost in an eerie house, and the menace is a male giant. Only in the Brothers Grimm version, the French cannibal becomes the German witch.
"Creep inside," said the witch, "and look whether the heat suffices to bake bread." But Gretel realized what she was up to and said, "I don't know how to do it." "Silly goat," said the old woman. "The opening is big enough, you see. I would fit in myself." She crept toward it and stuck her head into the opening. Gretel pushed her into the oven, shut the gate and locked it. Then the witch started to cry, very weirdly, but Gretel ran away, and the godless witch burned miserably.
Also das ist ganz konsequent in Grimms Märchen durch die Überlieferung, nicht durch die Brüder Grimm. Staatsverräter werden gevierteilt, Hexen werden verbrannt, Diebe werden gehängt. Das ist genau nach der Carolina, also die spiegelbildliche Bestrafung. Und sie wären ja nun ihrem Ideal untreu geworden, das ausgerechnet zu streichen oder zu mildern und sagen, nee, das ist eben die Realität früherer Zeiten, die auch in die Märchenaufnahme findet.
In Hansel and Gretel, the stakes of the great European witch hunt shine through. During this hunt in the 16th and 17th centuries, some 60,000 people died. The Brothers Grimm were often reproached for reflecting this cruel reality. Their fairy tales are even associated with a far worse persecution in the attempt to explain the unexplainable.
Also ich meine, das Märchen von Hänsel und Gretel ist natürlich für uns Deutsche ein sehr schwerer Stoff. In der polnischen Rezeption der Kinder- und Hausmärchen nach 1945 hat es durchaus Gleichsetzungen gegeben, die gesagt haben, das Verbrennen der Hexe ist gleichzusetzen mit den Krematorien in Auschwitz und anderswo in Polen. Und man hat die Kritik am Faschismus, die sehr stark auch auf die deutsche Kultur, auf die Wurzeln der deutschen Kultur dann rekurriert haben. Das hat man sehr stark auch am Thema Grimm versucht festzumachen, und es gibt also durchaus eine Reihe von Zeitungsartikeln, die das Verbrennen der Hexe im Grimmschen Märchen ebenso verallgemeinert als einen Charakterzug der deutschen Kulturgeschichte sehen, eben von Grimm bis zu Hitler.
The idea that the Brothers Grimm were the forerunners of Adolf Hitler is untenable. The Grimms think national but not nationalistic. They don't advocate the superiority of the Germans, but their independence. Yet their ideas are often used and misused later on. The search of the Grimms for the old Germanic witch has a strong echo. This is particularly dramatic during the Nazi rule. Whatever happened in those days is a most mysterious chapter in the history of the Third Reich. Only at the end of the Second World War do the first traces come to light.
On the 12th of January 1945, the long-anticipated offensive of the Red Army started to finally free my Polish home country. A few days later, our troops could cross the Wiesel River. The Germans fought like devils, yet they could not accomplish anything against the superior strength of the Soviet troops. The Red Army had only seized the area around Schlesiersee several hours ago. This is where the exiled Polish government sent me directly, on the front line. We knew that vital documents of the German State Security Office were stored here. We also knew the secret names of the Operation Brabant I. The strictly confidential files might contain decisive war information. As a civilian librarian at Poznan University, I thus ended up amidst the horrors of war. yet I had by no means been prepared for what I was to see.
The library and the confidential files of the SS Reichsführer Heinrich Himmler are stored in Slough, the former Schlesiersee. In the last days of war, the SS tries hectically to destroy any evidence of what they've done. At the last moment, the Germans have tried in vain to burn the archives. 140,000 books and documents are preserved in Schlesiersee. The findings of the Polish librarian are explosive and mysterious at the same time. Time and again he comes across a word that does not seem to fit into the present times. The word witch.
In the files I found dreadful reports on tortured witches. These women had died centuries ago. I tried to understand why the SS had saved these documents. The thoughts horrified me that the SS had inspired themselves for their own bloody work.
The Polish librarian discovers tens of thousands of index cards. They contain the names of witches and hangmen, informers and judges. The methods of torture are meticulously listed, as well as the extorted confessions and the type of execution. The librarian believes he's found a section of the SS that systematically applied the torture methods of past times in the concentration camps. The secret services of the Eastern Bloc states deal with the mysterious files after the end of the war, with no result. Afterwards, the Nazis' witch archive for a long time fell into oblivion. Only in recent years have scientists started to bring to light the darkness of the legendary Special Task